Hey, what's going on, everybody? Joe here. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Joe here from Cross, and why it's important to know how to use a firearm, and in my opinion, why it's really important to have a concealed carry license and carry with you all the time if you don't want to be a victim or if you want to be able to protect those around you. Oh, my coffee. Perfect timing. I thought it was going to get cold. Left it on the inside. So, it's 5 a.m. here. It's getting summertime. You might be able to hear the birds outside. Also, you can see my little strange holographic light here. That's the bug light that I got going on here in the office right now. Just sort of experiment with that later on. All right, anyways, back to the subject at hand. Why should you carry a firearm or a concealed firearm, or at least just learn how to use one? Well, it's pretty simple in my opinion. So growing up, I did a bunch of really stupid stuff, ran around. I wouldn't have done a lot of those things in a place where I knew I was gonna get shot. Hey, don't be knocking over my tripod, okay? Get down. Now, another way to put it is that when we were planning for missions overseas, right? We had two targets, let's say. One target, we knew that there was going to be a lot of bad guys with a lot of weapons. We would go into that planning, all missions, of course, with high focus and intensity, but with a much greater degree of risk. We had what's called the level 0 operation up to a level 2, level 0, 1, and 2. 2 is the greatest amount of risk, where we're very likely to take a casualty on our end because of the amount of weaponry, the amount of people that are there. And so, therefore, when people have weapons, it makes it more difficult to do things to them, whether it be in a military context or a police context and taking down a high value target, or in arresting a local drug gang leader. It doesn't matter. If somebody has a weapon on them, then it is very difficult or more difficult to do something to them that they don't want to have be done. Same concept applies in the reverse. Now, if I'm a private citizen and I have a license to carry a firearm and I'm well trained with it, and I'm walking around town and I'm carrying my firearm with me, there's a lot of other things that come into this in terms of like situational awareness and how you become a more aware of your surroundings. It's something called the reticular activating system. I just did a Science Saturday clip on that, so check it out. I'll put it in the link here in the video if you want to check that out, and how the reticular activating system allows us to prime neural networks in the brain to see things around us that we didn't see before. Think about like when you bought a car and then you saw that car everywhere. So, I digress. If you are person X and you're just an ordinary good citizen going about your day, doing your thing, all right? And you do not have a firearm with you, versus this good old ordinary citizen, person Y, who does carry a firearm with them, okay? Now, aside from the fact that you are going to walk with a greater sense of confidence and purpose because you're going to just feel more protected and you're going to feel more competent and capable and less likely to be victimized by anyone in your surrounding environment, then the criminal here is going to be left with two choices. Give them angry eyes. So if I'm a criminal here and I have a knife and a gun, and I see two people walking down the side of the street here. One of them happens to be walking with a greater sense of purpose and character and kind of just seems like what we call a hard target. And then this person is kind of walking where the energy they're giving off, because keep in mind, over 90% of all communication that we do is nonverbal. It's energy based, because we are energetic matter forms. This person's going to be the one to get attacked. It's plain and simple. So this guy comes down and says, hey, give me your money. And you're going to go, oh no, I have nothing to protect myself. So of course, here's my money. Take my money. Now, if this bad guy comes down this way and tries to do it to our person who carries a firearm with them, you can say, hey, give me your money. Well, the person who's properly trained and carries a firearm with them is going to wait for their opportunity, And once that opportunity presents itself, which we go over in the course of, not enough time to go into how to identify your opportunity to use lethal self-defense in these moments. But he's going to say, no, I'm all good. Screw you. And then bam, you're going to shoot this person in the face. Use lethal self-defense because they have a firearm and they can do that. Whereas opposed to this person over here has no firearm and can't do that. It's plain and simple that those who are capable of protecting themselves and defending themselves against violent criminals will not go against them. It's the same concept in the jungle or in the savannah or wherever in nature, where if you always see in Discovery Channel, the lions are going after what? The baby. The baby calf who's incapable of keeping or protecting itself, right? Now, here's another concept, is that if we are all armed within society, if everybody is trained and capable and competent and carrying a firearm with themselves, okay? Now we have the herd mentality. So you know how when the lions start prancing around the wildebeest, and the wildebeest do what? They all come together. They put the young and the protected and the unprotected in the middle. And then they have the big beefy mothers and fathers create a nice big circle. So this guy, boom, 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 comes over here and then creates a circle of protection around those who are unarmed because they're too young to learn how to carry a firearm or to utilize a firearm, or the old who are just beyond the age of being able to effectively use a firearm for a means of protection. Then we can all stand up for one another against violent criminals and tell them, no, you're not taking anybody's money, you're not hurting anybody, you're not raping anybody. And they're either met with lethal force and engagement and die, or they turn around and run. Then that's when our friends, the cops, law enforcement can show up. And he can arrest bad guy. And this bad guy. And this bad guy. Because cops are not our bodyguards, all right? Cops are made to be peacekeeping officers, but they need our help, and we need each other's help within society in order to stand up for one another, okay? So, a recap. Why do you need to know how to use a firearm? Why do you need to become licensed responsibly and carry a firearm with you? It's going to create a much greater sense of confidence, all right? It's going to allow you the ability to defend yourself against violent criminals. Violent criminals are going to be less likely to target you. Okay? Because of that victim of opportunity mindset, right? They want to go for the weak prey, and just by having the profound energetic sense of confidence that you have through going through a good firearms training course, they're not going to want to target you, all right? Think about the movie The Town, where they're robbing the bank cars, and in the opening scene, Ben Affleck goes, you don't go after the guy with the high and tight square away haircut and the blouse boots. You go over after the fat, lazy one whose uniform hasn't been pressed for weeks. Because it's easy victims of opportunity, okay? So, knowing how to handle a firearm and carrying a firearm with you responsibly, being licensed in it, greater sense of confidence, less likely to be targeted by violent criminals. And if you are targeted by violent criminals, you'll be able to actually know how to defend yourself, wait for the proper opportunity in the moment to present itself, and you'll be good to go, all right? Also, we can now stand up for one another in society, come together, crush violent crime. And therefore, if it's not as easy for people to conduct violent crime or criminal acts, then therefore they're going to be more likely to do something that's positive. They're going to be less likely to do something negative because they say, no, that's going to suck when I get shot. I just watched 6 other people get shot doing that. And then they're going to say, maybe I should just go start a lemonade stand. Maybe I should just go get the job over at McDonald's. Maybe I should, go to school or actually put my mind into a book. Or maybe I should organize something within the community so we can all come together and have a much greater time and foster an environment for more positivity and more growth. That's the ironic dichotomy of being capable of violence, but wanting to live a life of peace, to be the warrior within the garden and not the gardener within the war. Okay? Stop listening to this BS where, taking all the guns away is going to solve crime. That's so stupid. Ever since when in the history of mankind has there just been no crime? Guns have not existed forever. If it's not guns, it's swords. If it's not swords, it's sticks. If it's not sticks, it's rocks. If it's not rocks, it's your fists. So smarten up. Become more independent and self-sufficient. All right? And if it's not even with us or with me, I don't care. Just make sure your instructor knows what they're talking about and they're not up there just ranting about their career and then giving you their opinionated thoughts on when you should or should not use lethal force to defend yourself. Know the laws, understand your legislation, be out there to support the police officers. Yeah, there's some messed up ones, so what? There's messed up everything. Just always do your best to stay positive and help out with one another. Be there for each other. And we're gonna have a much, much greater time living in this world. It's getting too crazy. I'm so sick and tired of all this negativity. So please, look out for one another, all right? It's just, life's already hard enough, so let's look out for each other, okay? So that is why I think you should, without a doubt, know how to use a firearm, get licensed in carrying a firearm, and then carry that firearm with you responsibly and continue to work with it and train with it. It's fun. It's like one of the few life skills that are actually really fun to do and exhilarating to do. And then you do it well, and it can have such an immense, profound impact on the well-being of others around you and society. So there it is. A little bit longer than I expected it to be, but that's why I think that you should have a firearm, know how to use a firearm, and be licensed to carry a firearm. Let me know if you have any questions on any of that, or if you even object. I love having conversations where people object because, one, it helps my mind grow, and then it also hopefully helps your mind and your perspective grow as well. So let me know what you think. Joe Malone, it's 5 a.m. I'm going to go work out. Take care, be kind.